All right, there is literally no better time to make this video than right now as I cook this 537 gram rump steak right this second. And you may be thinking, is he autistic? Why is he mentioning 537 grams? Why does it matter? Simple reason is, you are probably a skinny guy, right? And if you're trying to bulk up, just like I bulked up through years of training and nutrition, then the biggest problem is in fact eating and actually getting in my calories for the day. See, obviously, as skinny guys, we want to gain weight. The biggest problem we have is gaining weight. That's what we're trying to solve. And the simple way to solve it is to start tracking like a fucking psychopath. Nobody actually wants to do this, right? And chances are, you think that you're eating a lot. I speak to guys all the time, skinny guys who are getting in the gym, they're trying to increase the amount they're eating, they're trying to bulk up, and they tell me, but bro, I can't fucking gain weight. I'm eating a lot, man. I eat a lot of food. But the problem is, you're really not, okay? There's a few reasons, right? Number one, the biggest reason why skinny guys struggle to gain weight, even though they think they're eating more, right? Is because they're conflating volume with calorie density, okay? So chances are you fall into one of these categories. You're young, like you live at home with your parents, whatever, and you eat what your parents cook for dinner, right? Maybe lunch as well, or you're in school or something, right? Let's say you eat what they make you for dinner, right? On one night, this was exactly me. On fucking Monday night, it was fish, chips, and salad, right? On Tuesday night, it was fucking, I don't know, a steak and veggies. On Wednesday night, it was fucking a couple little pieces of lean chicken with some carrots and peas, right? Now, the reason I'm mentioning this is because you've got to think about the difference, the fluctuation in calories throughout these days, right? So, chances are, you come in here, Monday night you eat that, Tuesday night you eat that, Wednesday night you eat that. They're all different dinners. And when you look at it, eating your calories, getting enough food in throughout the week is not just a matter of eating an amount daily. You need to look at it over the span of a week and look at your calories over a longer period of time. So if one day your dinner is chicken and veggies and it's 200 calories and the next day it's 500 calories, then you're going to be out of whack, right? And although you think you're really loading up the plate and you're eating every single meal, you're being consistent with your meals, there's a high chance that those meals are fluctuating in calories way too much and you're not actually eating as much as you think. And the other example is the guys that will not eat anything for the whole day, right? They'll basically starve themselves for the whole day. Then all of a sudden, it gets to like 4 in the afternoon and they'll sit down to a bunch of food. But the problem is it's either low calorie or you're fucking up because you're not getting your frequency of meals in. So overall, your calories are way too low for the day and you're not gaining weight. So, as I cook this 537 gram steak, the point of my video becomes, you need to train and track everything like a fucking psychopath, right? The biggest progression I made during my lifting journey as a skinny guy bulking up, I went from about 60 kilograms to 90 kilograms, which is where I'm at now. The biggest progress I made was in the periods where I was training and tracking like a fucking psychopath. I remember a specific example in high school. What I used to do is I used to lay shit down on the table, on the kitchen table before I went to school. I used to get protein bar, oat bar, nut bar, make a meal, weigh everything in the meal. I used to have pasta with pesto and chicken and bacon and cheese. Think about that fucking, how many calories are in that, right? And I used to put it in the container, know exactly how many calories were in that meal. Then I used to put it next to another meal, which I'd take, and I'd start taking shit to school. I'd be constantly eating throughout the day. But the thing is, I was entering into a tracking app. I knew how many calories I was eating. So I knew if I just looked at it, and if I ate all this food that was sitting in front of me on the table, then the results would come. Then I'd be eating enough calories. See, too many guys are winging it. Too many guys assume, you're making the assumption that you're eating enough, but realistically, you're not at all. Now you're gonna say, okay, well, how do I start? How do I actually do this? And the first thing is, you need to actually look at how many calories you need to be consuming, right? So generally, everyone recommends it, you've heard it before, go to TDEE, total daily energy expenditure. It puts in your metrics, puts in the information about you. You'll be able to find out a general ballpark figure on what and how many grams of protein, how many grams of fat, how many grams of carbs you should be eating, and it will total a daily calorie intake, right? So that is your base point, baseline. Now, what you want to do is don't do anything right now. Don't change anything about your diet right now, because I want to prove to you why you're not gaining weight. Why the constant excuse of, but bro, I fucking eat a lot of food, man. I'm eating so much, but I can't gain weight, right? You can't change the laws of fucking physics, right? Energy input, energy output. So I want to prove to you why you haven't been eating enough. Right now, for the next 3 days, right, to account for fluctuations, I want you to track every single thing on an app like MyFitnessPal or whatever calorie app, right? Don't use any of these bullshit AI calorie trackers, they don't work. And what I guarantee you'll see if you're complaining about not being able to gain weight as a skinny guy is, on one day you'll eat 2,000, on the next day you'll eat 4,000, then the other day you'll eat 1,500 because you forgot lunch and you forgot this and the dinner you had was actually low calorie, right? So that's my point. Now, how do we overcome this even more? So we've already got a baseline figure of calories that we need to intake, right? Then we're gonna track to see, okay, well fuck, I really wasn't eating enough calories. And you need to think about it. Every single time an athlete runs, every single time a race driver is trying to beat his record, they don't just think about how they felt, how fast they felt they were going, how fast they felt they were driving or running. They have a time. Okay, it was 28 seconds, 28.623 seconds, okay? Next time, I'm gonna go for 28.543 seconds, okay? They don't just wing it and know the feeling, right? They need some kind of metric. Life is metrics. If you want to improve, you need to have the metrics, the data. We're flipping the big ass steak right now. We just flipped it. It's looking pretty good. Now the crazy thing is, I was gonna suggest to you that after you get some knowledge of how much you're eating and you can intuitively track it, right? You understand, okay, this piece of food has this much, roughly this much rice has 200 calories. All right, you get a general ballpark figure. You can calculate these things autonomously in your head. The problem is, it doesn't work. It just doesn't, okay? I don't know the exact reasoning behind this, but every time I've thought this exact way, every time I've thought that I knew, okay, the calories and how much I was eating exactly, I stopped making progress. It's only when I tracked psychopathically every single day, every single meal, that's when I made the most progress. So you need to think, treat your life, treat your skinny guy bulking up journey, treat your gym journey like you're a race car driver, okay? If you're doing it for fun, if you're doing it for leisure, then you're going to just not time it. You're not gonna care. You're just gonna race. Okay, I was doing pretty quick today, sick. But if you're actually serious, if you actually want to win, right? In your case, you want to bulk up. You want to defeat the insecurity. You want to get jacked. You want to get aesthetic, right? That's what we're doing this for, okay? We're trying to transform our lives. Then you have to be serious and you have to realize that just cruising is not good enough. You need to be tracking and keeping yourself accountable each and every single day. And if you're looking for extra help on this, I have a community where I outline the exact protocols, the exact routine, and I run coaching through it on how skinny guys can bulk up, achieve the best physique of their lives, and actually gain confidence again, because I know exactly what it feels like. I digress. With our juicy as fuck steak, our 537 gram steak, and that point being, you need to be accurate. You need to be precise, because if I thought this was a 400 gram steak, then that's an extra 100 or 200 calories that are just in the air, that are just accounted for. And I'm not gonna know, especially if you're trying to be aesthetic and stay decently lean. You don't wanna be completely shooting your calories out of the ballpark, because then you're fucked. Now, in closing of the video, with everything you've just found out, going to TDEE, finding out your calorie requirements, right? Getting a general baseline, tracking for 3 days so you can prove to yourself that you actually haven't been eating correctly or not enough at all, right? So that you don't think you're an outlier, because realistically you're not. I used to think I was the outlier, that my genetics was somehow weird and different and my metabolism was mega fast. It's only when I started tracking consistently that I was able to gain weight and notice proper bodily change, okay? So you're gonna do those two things, and then the way we can eliminate chances of fucking up even further is to reduce variety. Reduce variation in our diet. Remain consistent with what you eat, okay? For breakfast, have the same thing. For lunch, have the same thing. For your snacks, have the same thing. When it comes to dinner and your parents cook you something that's one night 300 calories, the next night 800 calories, at least now you've known that for 80% of the day beforehand, you've had that same scaffold, that same routine, right? You know, okay, throughout the day, every single day, because I'm eating these key fundamental foods required for me, I am consuming 2,500 calories. Then, if mum makes me a 300 calorie dinner, compared to an 800 calorie dinner, I've still hit at least 2,500, right? Because too many guys will just wing it with every single meal. So with that being said, you need to track psychopathically. Don't think that you're different, because you're not. I used to think I was different, and it's only until I started tracking, it's only when I track that I make the most progress. You have to get specific with it. Remember, going back to that race car driver analogy, if you're a race driver and you want to win, you're gonna be tracking your times down to the millisecond. Just like if you're a skinny guy wanting to bulk up and get aesthetic, you need to be tracking every single thing you eat. So I hope this helped. Remember, top link in the description for skinny guys who want to bulk up, who want to change their life forever, become more masculine. That being said, our steak is done. 537 grams. I've tracked. I've been psychopathic with it.